surprisingly, I know, stop me if you're shocked to hear this. Jake Bailey's agent, whose name is Doug Hendrickson, not super thrilled with the proceedings. He released a statement, the agent did, saying, while Bailey was on IR, he never missed a treatment, a meeting, or a practice. He was hoping to come off IR to play last weekend, but Jake was informed he was instead going to be suspended these last two games. This comes as a surprise, given his full participation during injured reserve. We have filed a grievance to fight this unknown suspension. Okay, well, that doesn't sound good. I mean, he's the punter, right? So maybe they just sort of figured no one cares about the punter, I guess. I think Jack Jones's agent has released a statement as well. I'll try and hunt that one down. But I know that Reese just tweeted out the other one. Here is, and yes, this was from yesterday. The agent for Jack Jones, whose name is Jay Tucson, and he says, I'm aware of the situation involving my client, Jack Jones. Jack is focused on recovering and getting back to helping the Patriots as soon as possible. Regarding the suspension, it appears to be based on miscommunication regarding Jack's rehab process. I'm hopeful we'll reach an amicable resolution for both Jack and for the Patriots. Signed, Jamal Tucson. Okay. That one, a little less forceful, I will say. I don't know this agent, but I can tell you that Hendrickson guy was a lot more gung-ho about, my clients being wronged here. Tucson's like, maybe there was a miscommunication. We're going to work it out. Nice amicable resolution. Hopefully whatever he did wasn't too bad. Hopefully whatever this wasn't something that is going to really, really hurt his career and hurt my money. If I'm his agent, that's probably what I'm thinking. So we'll see what happens there. This thing with the punter sounds a little bit different, doesn't it? That's strong language. He never missed a treatment, a meeting, or a practice. He was hoping to play last weekend, but was informed he was going to get suspended for the last two games. When they said it was a suspension and that it was due to a difference of opinion, what's the actual words here? The teams had differing views about his readiness to return. When you hear that, what do you think, Stiz?
Yeah, I don't know.
I hear that, and I think the team wanted him to come back, and he said, oh, no, I'm still injured. I can't come back. And they were like, come on, you cheesecake, get out there. Let's hear about the this was Bill's dodgy answer. Listen to Bill.
Do you anticipate Jake Bailey punting for the team this season?
No, he's ineligible.
Do you anticipate he might become eligible, or?
No, his time period expired.
It expired. Okay, I didn't know if it was expired. Thank you.
Nope.
Hey, you're welcome. Thanks, Bill.
Jeez.
I know. His time period expired. Yes, right. And that's why he's suspended now? Because his time period expired? No. He was suspended. And I believe when you're suspended, you don't get paid. If Jack Jones did something and they're punishing him, fine. It seems like they're screwing Jake Bailey over because he sucked this year. And he did suck this year. And the kid they brought in also sucks too. But this is kind of ugly. This is sort of an ugly thing. Like, this happens right before this very important game. A game that I would love for Jack Jones to be playing in, by the way. I don't know if he was ever going to be coming back from that injury. But suspending him the last two games? Suspending a rookie in his rookie year? I mean, that's a move. That's a statement that you're making right there. And that's a statement you're making to a guy who was rated out to be one of the top corners in football at certain points this year, and certainly one of the top rookies. Fourth-round pick. Now, he was a fourth-round pick for a reason, of course. I didn't think that there was anything he was doing this year. I mean, I'm not there at practice, so I don't know. Late to rehab sessions? They're going to suspend him for 2 weeks and not pay him because he was late? Even if he missed the rehab sessions, that seems kind of extreme, doesn't it? Even if you missed the thing, it's a rehab session. He was late, but he showed up, and now he's suspended. I don't know. This whole thing seems weird. I think there's probably more to this story, so I'll refrain from commenting too much, other than to say the timing of it and everything else doesn't look great. doesn't look great over there in Foxborough. Kind of looks like, get it together, guys. Like, what the hell is this? 617-779-7937 is the phone number. Let's go to the phones, talk to Scott in Rhode Island. Hi, Scott.
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
I'll make it quick. They're going to get crushed tomorrow, and that old fart, he is ruining this franchise completely. I'm kind of glad it ends tomorrow. Get rid of Mac, and I wish Kraft would get rid of his dumb ass.
All right. Thanks for the call, Scott.
We are your home for UMass football and basketball. 105.5 WEEI.
On the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
Here's Weeks, left side. He'll try a three. He knocks it down, and he just buries the Rhode Island Rams here at the bottom of Block Island Sound. For a big shot, he'll take it. Soft as summer rain. Carl Pierre with the big three when UMass needed it most.
This is Minutemen Basketball. Minutemen Basketball is brought to you by Hampshire Hospitality for all your lodging needs while visiting UMass and the Pioneer Valley. Visit HampshireHospitality.com. And by Coca-Cola with zero sugar and refreshingly delicious. Is Coca-Cola Zero the best Coke ever? Find out for yourself. Now to courtside. This is the Milton Cat pregame show with Tyler Murray, Adam Frenier, and the voice of the Minuteman, Jay Burnham.
Massachusetts basketball coming your way this afternoon from the nation's capital. It's the Minutemen and the George Washington Colonials. UMass fresh off their first A-10 victory, 1-1 in league play after a shellacking of St. Louis on Wednesday at the Mullins Center, 90-81. George Washington also 1-1 in league play. Welcome into the Milton Cat pregame show, everybody. Sitting courtside at the Charles E. Smith Center. I'm Jay Burnham alongside my broadcast partner, Adam Frenier. And Adam, UMass 10-4 through the first 14 games, getting their first league win on Wednesday. It felt like a kind of a momentum game for the Minutemen with that W over St. Louis.
They played probably the most consistent 40 minutes they played all season, Jay. And every time St. Louis came in with something, they went on a run, UMass had an answer. And they did just tremendously consistent. You had contributions all up and down the lineup. And, they played at the same level of intensity, it felt like, for most of that game. And if they can do that today, they should be headed home tonight with a win.
Noah Fernandez has been the go-to guy for the Minutemen over the last 2 years. He missed 5 games with injury, got a technical coming back in that game against St. Bonaventure where UMass lost, really wasn't in the game against the Bonnies to open up conference play. He returns with 26 points. Can they win if he doesn't have a game like that today?
I think they can, Jay, because they have a deeper lineup than George Washington does. You can't expect Noah to average 26 points a game. We know that. But the other thing about that performance on Wednesday was his defensive performance against Yuri Collins. He goaded Collins into about 3 of the 4 fouls he picked up into the middle part of that second half and really frustrated the great point guard for St. Louis. Now, Collins had a good game statistically speaking, but I don't think he had the impact that he normally would have had because of the defense that Noah Fernandez played on him and how frustrated he became because of it.
Defense is going to be a big factor today against a similar guard in James Bishop, or at least a guy with similar talent, averaging 22 points per game. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. He's one of the best scorers that George Washington has had in quite some time. So UMass will have their hands full with him. Coming up on the Milton Cat pregame show down the line, we're going to talk with head coach Frank Martin, and we will check in with the rest of this schedule for the Minutemen as UMass looking to get off to a 2-1 start in league play. But first, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew, sitting comfortably back in Western Massachusetts inside the Basketball Hall of Fame in Springfield for the Ford of Northampton out-of-town scoreboard. Let's send it to Andy Bukowski. Andy.
Thank you, Jay. It is time for the out-of-town scoreboard, and it is brought to you by Ford of Northampton as we get you caught up on what's going on. Beginning in men's college basketball, let's start in the Atlantic 10 Conference. VCU at home against Davidson. All Rams, 78-61 VCU with 4:19 to play in the second half. Adrian Baldwin Jr., 19.6 assists for VCU as they're on their way to picking up win number 11. And they're 1-1 heading into today for Atlantic 10 play. Davidson 9-6 and 2-1 in conference. Coming up at 2 o'clock, Rhode Island's at LaSalle. The Explorers 6-8, Rhodey 5-9. Fordham's off to a 12-3 start, but they're 0-2 in conference play. They have a home game today at 2 o'clock against the St. Joseph's Hawks, who are 6-8. George Mason will host Loyola Chicago also at 2 o'clock. The Patriots 9-6, 1-1 in the A-10. Loyola Chicago looking for their first conference win since joining the A-10 in their first season. They are 6-8 overall. At 4 o'clock, St. Bonaventure at St. Louis. The Bonnies 8-7 and a perfect 2-0 in conference play. St. Louis looking to bounce back from the loss the other night against UMass. The Billikens are 9-6 overall. Duquesne Dukes off to a 12-4 start. Will be at Richmond tonight at 6 o'clock to take on the Spiders at the Robins Center. Duquesne is 2-1 in conference play with the 12 overall wins. Richmond 8-7 and 1-1 in A-10 play. Let's take a look at top 25 action. Fourth ranked UConn at home against Creighton. Huskies have a 10-point lead, 55-45, with 9 minutes to play in the second half. Oklahoma State leading number 6 Texas by 1, 44-43 Cowboys of 8:13 to go in the second half. 20th ranked Missouri, their hands full of Vandy. 68-67 Missouri over Vanderbilt with 6 minutes to play second half. Number 7 Alabama home to Kentucky. 21-19 tied early in the first half. 16th ranked Duke at Boston College. Blue Devils lead the Eagles about at halftime, 37-31. UMass Athletics, Frozen Fenway for UMass Hockey. The 15th ranked Minutemen will take on Boston College at 6 o'clock tonight. UMass 9-7-3 overall. BC 7-6-4. And UMass women's basketball in action a little over an hour from now. 3 o'clock tip-off in Chicago as the Minutewomen will take on Loyola Chicago out in the Midwest. UMass looking to bounce back from a loss the other night against Rhode Island. They are 11-4 overall. And that's your look at the out-of-town scoreboard. It's our game at the Smith Center in D.C. with UMass taking on George Washington. Tip-off coming up at the top of the hour. We'll have more of the Milton Cap pregame show coming up next. This is the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
Amherst Insurance. For over 42 years, we have provided our customers with superior service for home, auto, and commercial insurance. We have an outstanding staff and top-rated carriers to serve you. We have been growing since 1979. Amherst Insurance is the place to visit for all your insurance needs. Call us at 413-253-5555 or visit us on the web at nathanagencies.com. Proudly representing fine companies such as Mopfrey Insurance.
I've always struggled with health issues since I was a kid.
When testing found a non-cancerous tumor called a cardiac myxoma in Kalia's left atrium, she was referred to Bay State Medical Center, where she underwent emergency open heart surgery to remove it.
When you almost die and come back, you can't look at the world the same way. My scar is my badge of honor. It reminds me of everything I went through and accomplished.
To watch her story, go to baystatehealth.org/stories. Bay State Health, advancing care, enhancing lives.
Hey, you ever wish you had a pub to call home? Well, how about this? The Hangar Pub and Grill has it all. Comfort, friendly staff, and plenty of craft beer and quite the extensive drink list. Hungry? The Hangar Pub and Grill has the best damn wings in the world. 19 years running in the Valley Advocate Readers Poll. Yeah, this is my place. It should be your place too. The Hangar Pub and Grill, located in Westfield, Greenfield, Pittsfield, University Drive in Amherst, and now Agawam and South Hadley.
Pregame show. We'll get you the UMass 5 College Credit Union starting lineups in just a little bit. We get closer to tip from the Charles E. Smith Center. Haven't been here in a while. In Washington, D.C. in the Foggy Bottom neighborhood, not too far from the White House and the Capitol. The Washington Colonials at 7-8 on the season. They've got a new head coach. UMass at 10-4, obviously new head coach this year in Frank Martin. Let's talk a little bit about Chris Caputo, the first-year coach for George Washington, because he's got local ties right in your backyard from Westfield State.
He's a former Westfield State Owl, played basketball there, graduated from there, and does have that local connection. Of course, he, longtime assistant under Jim Larinaga, down the road at George Mason and on at Miami, and he's taken an interesting tact here in building his roster. You know, we saw with Frank Martin, basically had to replace the whole thing. Caputo, on the other hand, said, you know, I like the veteran nature of this roster that I'm inheriting, and he really kept most of the team from last year around under the former head coach, Jamie and Christian, very selective about what he did in the transfer portal in terms of what he brought in freshman-wise. So he has a lot of built-in continuity walking right through the door, which is pretty unusual in this day and age.
We're at the Charles E. Smith Center, and it's an intimate vibe. It's a great place for a basketball game. There's elevated end caps on each side behind the baskets, and then 5,000 seats, 2,500 on one side, 2,500 on the other. You're right on top of the action. They've got a red seat here that is in honor of Red Arbach, who is a GW alum, and that's where he used to sit when he would come to games as a student. So from a venue standpoint, I know this is your first time here. Not a bad place to see a basketball game.
No, it really isn't. And it was kind of funny when we pulled up in the ride that we had over here. Got out of the car, I'm like, there's a basketball gym in this neighborhood. There's housing across the street from here. But it's a very intimate setting. It's very bright. There's some natural light in here. It feels like a really comfortable place to watch a basketball game and certainly to play one. I think this will be a good shooter's gym.
These two teams faced in the A-10 tournament last year. UMass was able to snap a 9-game losing streak against GW with a win in that contest. It's the 76th all-time meeting between these two programs. One note for UMass today, they've been without the big man, the senior Wildens Levesque, the past couple of games due to a leg injury or tendonitis injury. We'll address that with head coach Frank Martin in a little bit, but he's out yet again today. So once more, Isaac Conte is going to have to shoulder a lot of the load down low.
And he's going to be going against Hunter Dean, the 6'10", 235-pound senior for the George Washington Colonials, averaging 7 points and 5 rebounds a game, averaging 24.5 minutes. That's going to be quite a battle. And Dean is a good passer, and you're going to hear Coach Martin talk about that in a minute. He can kick that ball out and make the other 4 players on the court better and set them up as much as they can set him up. So their offense very much so runs inside out, and that's one thing I think UMass is going to need to do is try to deny the pass down low to Dean so he can't go to work.
UMass put up 90 points. It's the second time that they've reached the 90-point mark this year against St. Louis on Wednesday in the win. One guy, I think, outside of the performance from Noah Fernandes that really shined brightly, maybe not offensively, but defensively, was the freshman Tafara Kapare. He had 5 blocks in that game, and he played a career-high 23 minutes.
And St. Louis had no answer for his length or his speed at that point. They were intimidated at him, and you even heard Coach Martin, by him I should say, and you heard Coach Martin tell Tyler and I after the game on Wednesday that they were running pick and roll action at him, trying to attack him, and they still couldn't. So, that was a very interesting observation. You can certainly see that he's getting it. He's finally, I think, caught up. And Coach Martin certainly feels very comfortable having him out there in crunch time.
Getting closer to tip from the nation's capital. We'll take a break on the Milton Cap pregame show. When we come back, we'll sit down with the man Frank Martin joins us next. We've got tip at the top of the hour here on the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine. Personalized sports medicine care driven by research and determination. Top specialists who understand your athletic dreams, goals, and the need to get back to them. Together, we'll write your comeback story. Mass General Brigham Sports Medicine. Click on the banner or visit massgeneralbrigham.org/sports to start your comeback story today.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Where are you in your life? Heading off to college? Or ready to retire? Buying a home or adding solar panels to your current one? Starting a family? Or picking out the next car? Or maybe you're making plans to take off and see the world just as soon as you can get on a plane. At UMass 5 College Credit Union, we're here with convenient banking services, technology, and financial guidance that make it all possible. We're member-owned, so it's truly all about you. Visit us online at umass5.coop today.
It's almost time for the tip, so let's go one-on-one with UMass head coach Frank Martin.
Countdown to tip-off from the nation's capital, UMass and George Washington coming up in a few moments, and we continue on the Milton Cap pregame show, as always, with head coach Frank Martin. And, Coach, let's go back to Wednesday, big win over St. Louis. It felt like that was one of the more complete games that your team has played. Would you say that's a fair assessment of what happened on Wednesday?
Yeah, it just looked better than what we've done lately because we actually had Noah, for 5 practices. And so, Noah makes a big difference in our team. It's not, his talent. It's his voice. It's his personality. It's actually his knowledge of the game because he's played so many games. It's his understanding of some of the things that I'm trying to do. So it makes the game easier for everybody else. And that's good point guards do that. I think people in New England would understand that when you got a good quarterback like Tom Brady, things flow a little smoother. And it's part of the deal. And not having him in practice, we kept playing hard. It's not like we didn't play hard, but we weren't as smooth offensively. And having him back, let's not cut through the chase here. The average person looks at offense. They don't look at defense. Right. So defensively, we really didn't break down as much, but offensively, we played smoother. And when you play smoother offensively, everyone gauges that as to you played better. Sometimes you play well offensively and you don't play well. But that game, we played well offensively, and I thought we played really well defensively in the first half.
There was a moment there, actually, one of the players I really think is a great A-10 basketball player, Fred Thatch, went down with an injury. You were the first person out onto the court. What did you say to him, and what did you see in that situation? He's now out for the year with an ACL for St. Louis.
Yeah, I didn't know what the injury was, but I know he was in pain, and I'm just out there. I'm not a doctor. I'm not out there to do anything, but I'm a guy that's been through knee injuries, and I'm just out there trying to console, to more than anything, the person that's dealing with pain, to try and hear a voice to find comfort. And then eventually the people that know what they're doing, they're out there to help them. But it was right in front of our bench. And, we're competitors, man. But at the end of the day, there's a respect factor that goes in to everyone that puts a jersey on and goes out to compete. One thing is winning a game. The other thing is when somebody's struggling with whether it's a physical injury or mental injury, it's a matter of just showing some compassion and letting people know that things are a little deeper than the game sometimes.
You go deeper into the A-10 schedule this afternoon against George Washington. What have you guys seen from them on film, and how do you counter what they're trying to do today?
Yeah, they got some really, really talented players. Their first 5 have found a unity offensively, and they're old. Their 2 guards are both guys who were big-time high school players and both went to high major schools, and they've come back and they've actually bonded really good on the court. The young man that transferred from Kansas State, he just didn't play last year because of injury, but he was a highly regarded player, and he's showing that. And then you take a kid like Ricky Lindo, who I know really well, having recruited him out of high school. Ricky's an unbelievable talented player. Now he's an older player, and then the young man, I can't remember his last name, number 13, who has started to play a lot more minutes here over the last probably half a dozen games. I think he's uplifted their team offensively. They're a handful to defend. They can really, really score. They can score from 4 spots, and then the 5th one, the center, can score, but he facilitates scoring for the other guys, which when you find a team where the center can facilitate scoring for the guards, and you got 4 guys that can really score, it makes them really hard to guard.
Last one for you here. Speaking of big men, Wildens Levesque has missed the last 2 games. How's he doing, and what's his progress been?
Yeah, he's shown really good progress this past week. He's pretty much pain-free right now, and that's not while running. That's just like when Dave, our trainer, is helping him out with his patella tendon there. So we're hopeful that we'll see him in practice sometime next week, and hopefully back on the court shortly after that.
All right, good to hear. Thanks, Coach, so much. We'll talk to you at halftime.
Thanks, Jay.
All right, that is head coach Frank Martin. UMass looking to make it 2 in a row as they take on George Washington in Foggy Bottom. Coming up next, we'll have the UMass 5 College Credit Union starting lineups here on the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
A team on the court and a team off the court. Ford of Northampton's starting five want to help you purchase your next new Ford. Located on 6 acres of land at 968 Bridge Road in Northampton, Mass. Ford of Northampton has a large selection of new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs for sale. Plus a great selection of Ford certified pre-owned vehicles. With 17 service bays nestled inside of 33,000 square feet of building. Ford of Northampton boasts one of the area's largest service facilities. Proud to support our Minutemen and proud to call the Valley home. FordofNorthampton.com.
Hey, did you know that massages are covered by Health New England?
I love the wellness benefits that we get.
They're local, they're responsive, and at renewal time, there are no surprises.
Health New England cares about our employees as much as I do. And we've got all the confidence in their team since they've been in business for 35 years, just like us.
Simple, caring, and affordable. That's our health plan. We're here for you every step of the way. Health New England, where you matter.
This has been the Milton Cat Pregame Show, brought to you by Hampshire Hospitality for all your lodging needs while visiting UMass and the Pioneer Valley. Visit HampshireHospitality.com. And by 5 College Movers, official movers of Massachusetts football and proud supporters of Massachusetts basketball.
Open three, TJ Weeks is good. TJ Weeks with a spark from the right corner. Left side, step back three, hand in his face, he knocks it down. Fernandez with the three, and it's a 2-point game here in Fairfax, 54-52.
The tip-off is moments away. Now with the call of today's game, here's the voice of the Minutemen, Jay Burnham.
Washington, D.C., the place to be this afternoon as the Minutemen get ready to take on George Washington and the Colonials. A long-time A-10 rivalry between two teams that are trying to make their way back to the top of the A-10 standings. We'll get to the UMass 5 College Credit Union starting lineups in just a moment, but first let's pause 10 seconds for station ID on the UMass Sports Network from Deerfield.
We are your home for UMass football and basketball. WWEI and WWEI HD1, East Hampton, Springfield, 105.5 WEEI, an Odyssey station.
Time for today's starting lineups, brought to you by UMass 5 College Credit Union, the official credit union of Massachusetts athletics. UMass 5 College Credit Union voted best auto loan provider for consecutive years in the Daily Hampshire Gazette Reader's Choice Poll. We'll start with the visiting Minutemen, led by head coach Frank Martin. 298 career wins for Frank, and he's 10-4 in his first season at the helm of UMass. 1-1 in A-10 play. Familiar starting five for Coach Martin will begin with the backcourt of the senior guard Noah Fernandez, coming off a season-high 26-point performance in the win on Wednesday against St. Louis. He'll be joined in the backcourt by T.J. Weeks, the redshirt junior from Rhode Island, along with Matt Cross, who will look to get it going today. Was only 3 of 14 from the floor in the win on Wednesday. Cross averaging 11 points per contest. Front court duo of Brandon Martin, son of Frank Martin, 6'5", 223 pounds, and Isaac Conte, the junior from Brooklyn, New York, and the Hofstra LIU transfer, averaging 8 and 4 per game. So for the Minutemen, Fernandez, Weeks, Cross, Martin, and Conte. For George Washington, the Colonials, led by Chris Caputo, in his first season at the helm, 7-8 on the year. They're 1-1 in conference play. That one win coming against Chicago Loyola. And they'll bring in a starting five that looks like this. Kansas State transfer that you heard Frank Martin talk about, Maximus Edwards in the backcourt, 6'5", 215 pounds, averaging almost 10 a game, along with 6 rebounds. Brendan Adams in his second season here in Foggy Bottom, the UConn transfer, stands in at 6'4", 205 pounds, averaging 16 points a game and almost 37 minutes per contest. Then the guy you really got to keep your eye on, the senior guard from Baltimore, an LSU transfer, James Bishop IV, averaging 20 points per contest. He has 2 games already this season where he scored over 40 points. Down low, Ricky Lindo Jr., the Maryland transfer, 6'8", 220 pounds, averaging 10 and 7. And Hunter Dean, 6', 235 pounds, 8 points a game, 5 rebounds per contest. So for GW, it is Edwards, Adams, Bishop, Lindo Jr., and Hunter Dean. Adam, who do we have on the whistles today?
We have Tim Kelly, Connor Mooney, and Edwin Young. Edwin Young played college basketball at Dayton in the late 90s.
Did you have to look that up, or did you know it right off the top?
I had to look that one up.
Okay. This game is being broadcast nationally on USA Network. You can turn them down and turn us up from the Charles E. Smith Center.
A lot of maroon in the crowd here, Jay. There's probably, about 1,500 people here thus far, and healthy dose of UMass fans at this point.
There was a pre-game get-together with the Massachusetts Collective fans just across the street prior to this one, so we should have a decent showing of Massachusetts faithful here in the nation's capital. First time UMass has been down here in quite some time. They were supposed to play during the 2020 season 2 years ago yesterday, but a violent insurrection at the Capitol that you know of well now ensued, and UMass had to head out of town as that was happening due to the city being shut down. Tap is up. It's won by George Washington, wearing their gray alternate uniforms with literally
This is Andy Bukowski in UMass Sports Network studios. We're experiencing some technical difficulties, so we are going to go to break. Just underway here, George Washington and UMass 3-3 all 45 seconds into the first half. We'll take a break and come back with more here on the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you or someone you know planning an event? UMass Catering provides full service and event coordination for the Pioneer Valley. Specializing in weddings as well as social and corporate events, UMass Catering provides award-winning food and impeccable service for you and your guests. Book UMass Catering at 413-577-8200 or visit our website at umasshospitality.com.
Moving can be stressful, whether you're moving locally, across the country, or like UMass football. You can count on 5 College Movers, the official moving company of UMass football. To schedule a free in-home estimate, call them 413-687-1738 or online at 5collegemovers.com. 5 College Movers, the official moving company of UMass football. A team on the court and a team off the court. Ford of Northampton's starting 5 want to help you purchase your next new Ford. Located on 6 acres of land at 968 Bridge Road in Northampton, Mass. Ford of Northampton has a large selection of new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs for sale. Plus a great selection of Ford certified pre-owned vehicles. With 17 service bays nestled inside of 33,000 square feet of building. Ford of Northampton boasts one of the area's largest service facilities. Proud to support our Minutemen and proud to call the Valley home. FordofNorthampton.com.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
Looking to get away or need to visit friends and family? Peter Pan Bus connects you to cities across the Northeast. Explore New York City, Boston, Providence, Philly, D.C., and hundreds of other destinations. Book early for low fares on peterpanbus.com. Enjoy free Wi-Fi and power outlets so you can stay connected while on the go. Sit back and enjoy the ride in a comfy seat with plenty of legroom. Travel happy with Peter Pan Bus.
A team on the court and a team off the court. Ford of Northampton's starting five want to help you purchase your next new Ford. Located on 6 acres of land at 968 Bridge Road in Northampton, Mass. Ford of Northampton has a large selection of new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs for sale. Plus a great selection of Ford certified pre-owned vehicles. With 17 service bays nestled inside of 33,000 square feet of building. Ford of Northampton boasts one of the area's largest service facilities. Proud to support our Minutemen and proud to call the Valley home. FordofNorthampton.com.
From the Berkshires to the Bay and throughout New England, it's UMass Basketball with Tyler Murray, Adam Frenier, and Jay Burnham on the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
From the cell phone until we figure things out otherwise, all tied at 3. We had a long stoppage of play as the officials were reviewing a 3-ball, whether it was a 3 or a 2. So 17:50 to go here in this first half, all tied at 3, and George Washington has the basketball off to our right. They'll zip it down in the post to Hunter Dean. Both teams have hit a 3 so far. Fernandez for UMass Dean with a little turnaround in the paint. Doesn't go, but a foul coming on the shot. And the big man, Hunter Dean, will head to the free throw line. Isaac Conte called for the foul. That's his first. 17:38 to play here in the first half. Hunter Dean, 76% from the free throw line. Senior out of Louisiana, a Southern Mississippi transfer. And he makes the first free throw for George Washington. GW 7-8 on the year. They beat Loyola, lost to Richmond on Wednesday by a score of 73-63. Next one for Dean is up, and it's good. So he hits both free throws to give GW a 5-3 advantage. 17:35 to play here in the first half. UMass with the basketball. Minutemen averaging 70 points per contest. They scored 90 on Wednesday in the win over SLU. Fernandez off the right wing into the low post to Conte. Muscles down Dean, and he throws it off the glass and scores right over Hunter Dean, the big man. So the first bucket of the day for Isaac Conte. He's averaging 8 points per game, 4 rebounds per contest. We'll get most of the looks tonight down low with Wildens Levesque still out. George Washington with the basketball tied at 5. Pull-up jumper from 18 feet out, no good for Adams. And the Minutemen with a rebound running the other way. Fernandez into the front court, left side of the lane, gets knocked out from behind. And it's out of bounds, last touched by George Washington. And it will be UMass basketball. Apparently someone kicked our power out, so we're up and running now. We will get on to the good equipment here once we get to a stoppage, 16:52 to go. UMass with the possession all tied at 5. Matt Cross, little floater in the lane is good, so Cross gets on the board after a frustrating day of shooting on Wednesday, where Cross just went 3 of 14. So good to see him getting off to the right start. Now another floater in the lane the other way for GW, and it rolls in off the front of the rim and then in for James Bishop. Bishop up to 5. We're all tied at 7. UMass with the basketball. Conte up top. Takes the shot. Hands over right side to Weeks. Now up top to Cross. Cross gets right side of the lane, dribbling, backing his man down. Little head fake. Gets him up in the air. Turnaround shot for Cross is good. So Cross with a couple of buckets here early on as we approach the 16-minute mark from George Washington. UMass in the lead, 9-7. Bishop will take a 3. And he rocks it down. That'll give George Washington the lead. And now we're cooking on the headset.
10-9, GW in the lead. UMass with the basketball. Our apologies for the technical difficulties.
Sorry, my big foot kicked the plug out.
No, it's not you, my friend. I know you want to take the blame. 3 for Fernandez doesn't go. Conte with an offensive rebound for UMass.
He's had a few of those already here in the early goings.
Minutemen with a second opportunity. They get it to Brandon Martin, right elbow. Martin trying to go down the lane. Nothing there. Out to Fernandez now. Jab step. He drives left. Tries to go step back, then goes up and under his defender. That doesn't go, and the rebound for George Washington Brendan Adams is much bigger than Noah Fernandes. That's going to be an issue. Bishop in the lane. His floater from 8 feet away missed. And UMass with the rebound the other way. Approaching 5 minutes in. TJ Weeks, hard take, throws up an erratic shot. Not there. And the rebound for George Washington.
He was out of control. They weren't going to bail him out there.
Cross tries to take a charge down the lane, and he gets hit with a blocking foul from Ricky Lindo Jr., who came right at him. And we'll have free throws when we return. So foul on Cross. Lindo to the line. We'll sort out our equipment. And the start so far, 15:03 to play in the first half. UMass trailing 10-9 here on the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
Are you or someone you know planning an event? UMass Catering provides full service and event coordination for the Pioneer Valley. Specializing in weddings as well as social and corporate events, UMass Catering provides award-winning food and impeccable service for you and your guests. Book UMass Catering at 413-577-8200 or visit our website at umasshospitality.com.
Moving can be stressful, whether you're moving locally, across the country, or like UMass football. You can count on 5 College Movers, the official moving company of UMass football. To schedule a free in-home estimate, call them 413-687-1738 or online at 5collegemovers.com. 5 College Movers, the official moving company of UMass football.
They live every day like it's a trip to the 1996 Final Four. It's UMass basketball with Jay Burnham, Tyler Murray, and Adam Frenier on the UMass Sports Network from Learfield.
All Massachusetts fans, be sure to visit one of our proud new restaurant sponsors. That's the 110 Grill, 2 convenient locations in Hadley and the Holyoke Mall. Enjoy their extensive modern American cuisine menu, also with gluten-free dining options done right. Well, apparently it wasn't just us on the internet fiasco. The whole table went down. And that's why they had to stop the game to look at the clock, and on we go. So we're back up and running. Thanks for joining us today. Jay Burnham, Adam Frenier, Andy Bukowski. George Washington has a 10-9 lead, and also in the process, heading into break, Matt Cross picked up his second foul here early on.
And when you don't have Wildens Levesque and Cross can be a post defender, that's certainly going to be a problem. Tafarik Apari already into the game, so it looks like he's going to be the backup option at that number 4 spot for the Minutemen. UMass not shooting the ball badly, 4 of 9 to start. George Washington's 3 of 7, but Bishop's got 8 of their 10 points to this point.
You knew he was going to be a factor today. One of the leading scorers, averaged 19 points 2 years ago, 16 points per game last year, preseason all-conference second-team player for this George Washington program. 76th all-time meeting between these two teams. George Washington actually has the edge. They haven't been to the NCAA tournament since that 2014 year, which was a great year for the A-10. But UMass and GW, they had some great battles back in the mid to late 90s, if you recall.
The Mike Jarvis, John Calipari battles, a couple of big games. They played one season. I know President Clinton was here when UMass was ranked number 1 and GW took him down.
Lindo Jr. to the free throw line, drew the blocking foul heading into break. So Ricky Lindo Jr., the senior from right here in D.C., misses the first one. 79% free throw shooter for Lindo, spins the basketball through his hands and hoists it up. It's good on try number 2, his first point tonight, and it's a 2-point advantage for George Washington, 11-9. Early on here in the first half, Minutemen with the basketball to the high post, and Brandon Martin swatted at by Lindo. Martin out to Kapare off the right wing, and we've got a whistle off the basketball. It looked like Isaac Conte was tangled up with the backup big Noel Brown, and Brown picks up the foul for George Washington.
I don't think he was holding Conte, so he couldn't come out and set a screen.
Second personal foul, and we got another foul right off the inbound, again off the ball, and that's going to be on James Bishop, his first. Well, if you could manage to find a way to get James Bishop into foul trouble, you'd certainly have a good chance of winning this game.
I'd agree with that, partner.
UMass with the basketball down 2 to Luis. Into the post now to Martin. Martin trying to back down his man. Little turnaround in the paint for Brandon Martin. Off the mark, no good. Ball tapped back by Conte, but secured by George Washington.
Brandon was giving up a lot of size in the paint that time. Put up the high arcing shot, but a little off to the right.
Not a great look. Here's Adams, the UConn transfer, dribbling left side, back out to Lindo Jr. He passes into the right corner to Bishop. Bishop head fake, guarded by Luis. Gets into the paint. Crosses the paint, dumps it down low, unable to handle it initially. Now they get it out to Lindo. Lindo goes by his man. Bounce pass in the paint to Brown, and Brown called for the travel.
He looked like Francis Okoro the other night who couldn't get his footwork down. Just shuffled the feet in the paint as the entry pass came, and an unforced turnover, really, because he was wide open.
This GW team doesn't turn the ball over all that much. Fernandez tries to zip a pass to Kapare, but he can't handle it. UMass turns it over. They only had 9 of those on Wednesday in the win. Onto the other end, Brown has Fernandez on him deep down in the post, but Fernandez gets 2 hands on the basketball, and a jump ball call that'll be Massachusetts' possession.
Brown brought that ball down to where Noah Fernandez could latch onto it. Brown 6'11", Fernandez is generously 5'11", and he brought that ball right down to his waist, and with the double team coming from Conte, Noah just latched right onto it. That was not a good play by Brown at all.
That's a big man no-no right there, bringing it down. Meanwhile, UMass down by 2 with the basketball into the front court. DeAndre Dominguez has checked into the game. Hands it off to Luis, who tries a 3 off the right side. He banks it home. He'll take it.
Exactly how he drew that one up, but he was wide open. Good aggressive shot. Banks are open late on Saturday here in D.C.
He had a great game on Wednesday, 11 points. UMass takes the lead, 12-11. Bishop drives right side of the lane, guarded by Luis. Spins it out to Adams. He tries a 3. That's off the back of the rim, no good. Back tapped, and UMass is going to gather it 3-on-1 the other way. Luis reading the play, gives it to Kapare, who has it blocked. Kapare goes down hard, but a foul called. Was eyeing the dunk, and I think Amir Harris, the backup point guard, was able to get up into the air with Kapare to swat it. No foul, just out of bounds, I believe.
And I think that's the right call, too, because Kapare got cleanly blocked from behind, and it maybe looked worse than it was after he hit the deck, but nice block there by the GW defense.
So it will be UMass basketball. They couldn't convert on the breakaway, but will inbound from underneath. Keon Thompson has worked his way into the game now, along with Conte, Kapare, Luis, and Dominguez. They'll inbound to Kapare, left elbow. To the right side for Luis. Luis can pop it. He does. 18-foot jump shot, no good. Long rebound, and a foul coming on DeAndre Dominguez as he tried to track down the ball. Dominguez called for his first. He fouled out on Wednesday.
He just reached across Bishop trying to get the ball that time and called for the reach-in.
12-11, UMass with the lead. 13 minutes to go here in the first half down in Foggy Bottom.
Tell you what, Jay, there's not much atmosphere in here right now. It's not like at St. Bonnie's last Saturday. And I think that's led to the slow performance by both teams here in the early going.
Just kind of flat-footed. George Washington with the basketball. They zip it to the right corner. Now up top to Bishop. Bishop guarded by Thompson. Drives in the paint from the free throw line. Kicks it out left corner for Harris. He tries a 3. No good. And Dominguez there with the rebound. UMass going the other way with a 1-point advantage. Thompson into the front court. Surveying. Trying to get it to Conte, but not unable to. Now he does. Conte rips it out of the sky with one hand and then lays it in with the right hand. An amazing play by Conte.
Conte showing off his footwork compared to Brown, and almost a hook shot from the side. He was off balance, but got it to go.
Looked like Thompson gave up trying to give him the basketball and then gave it one more effort. Was able to elevate it in there. Now a drive for Bishop. Somehow he throws it off the window. That was a circus shot.
And the Minutemen just stepped over the baseline when they inbounded the ball and got called for a violation on top of that.
So Bishop with a miraculous shot, and then UMass turns it over on the ensuing inbound.
That's a sloppiness by the Minutemen. You can't do that. There's an official standing right there.
So George Washington will inbound. They get it to Hunter Dean on the right wing, approaching the 12-minute mark. Minutemen up 14-13. Dean was wide open down low, and he missed the bunny, but then gets the putback to give George Washington back the lead.
And they put that ball in play quick. The Minutemen had 6 guys on the court and got away with it.
Sewell Diggins has checked in for UMass, so a little spotty here for the Minutemen. Down by 1, 15-14. Minutemen with the possession. They shovel it to Luis. Now over to the right side to Martin. Martin drives, got tied up, and a jump ball called. Martin went into the paint, trying to take it hard to the basket, and Maximus Edwards, the Kansas State transfer, got his hands in there and forces the held ball.
And it'll be GW basketball when we come back.
11:39 to go. Minutemen down by 1 here in the first half on the UMass Sports Network from their field.
A team on the court and a team off the court. Ford of Northampton's starting five want to help you purchase your next new Ford. Located on 6 acres of land at 968 Bridge Road in Northampton, Mass. Ford of Northampton has a large selection of new Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs for sale. Plus a great selection of Ford certified pre-owned vehicles. With 17 service bays nestled inside of 33,000 square feet of building. Ford of Northampton boasts one of the area's largest service facilities. Proud to support our Minutemen and proud to call the Valley home. FordofNorthampton.com.
When you open a crisp, cold Bud Light, you know game day is here.
You owe me $5.
We mean every sound. Enjoy responsibly. 2022 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Introducing new Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda Variety Pack. You hear that? It's seltzer with the pop of soda, all with zero sugar. Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, the loudest flavors ever. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Seltzer Hard Soda, IRC Beers, St. Louis, Missouri.
UMass down by 1, 15-14 at the 11:39 mark here in the first half. Thanks for joining us today. Adam Quinville Roofing and Siding. They don't mind working in the cold to keep you safe and warm. Call 1-800-NEW-ROOF or check us out at 1-800-NEWROOF.com today. Kind of a chunky start here on both ends, Adam.
Yeah, the offenses really aren't flowing all that well. UMass 6 of 14 shooting, and George Washington 5 of 12. Bishop's got 10 of the 15 points so far for the Colonials. In terms of rebounding, the Minutemen 9-6 in their favor. Points in the paint are 8-4 UMass, so there's certainly some positive indicators. Just got to try to figure out some consistency in the offensive end and how to get the ball out of Bishop's hands, because really nobody else has even really been looking to shoot for GW.
James Bishop played 1 year at LSU and then transferred here to George Washington. He has been the go-to for this program over the past couple of seasons, and you're seeing why he's such a good scorer. He even got a lucky one to go in, as UMass did on the other end with a bank shot, but so far he's been as advertised with 10 points leading the way.
Well, he's hit 40 a couple times in his career, so he certainly knows the way when it comes to putting the ball in the basket and putting a team on his shoulders. And if you're UMass, the offense just looks a little stagnant. You can hear Frank Martin maybe in the background yelling, "Move, move, move." And, you know, there's a lot of standing around right now, not a whole lot of rhythm. And I don't think George Washington's doing anything terribly confusing on defense, just playing man-to-man. So the Minutemen can find that pace in their offense that they had on Wednesday night. I think they can be effective.
One other note here, UMass has been a great offensive rebounding team. They have 4 offensive rebounds so far. This GW team among the bottom tier in terms of rebounding and total rebounds this season. So if UMass can continue to win that on the glass, then that certainly should benefit them. And now we've got a stoppage in play because the shot clock didn't start.
They've been having, I think some of the issue that we had getting knocked off the air also affected the timing devices. And the officials have belt packs, which will trigger the clock or stop it when they blow the whistle. And I think that those are not functioning properly. And now they've set the shot clock to 27 seconds. And we'll try this again.
All right, so UMass has Keon Thompson, Luis, Dominguez, Martin, and Diggins on the court, as Brendan Adams, the UConn transfer, brings it up the floor, uses a screen, moving right side, gets into the paint, sends it out to Harris. Harris gets to the left elbow, guarded by Luis, 13 on the shot clock. Now to Dean, wide to the left side of the paint. Backing down Dominguez. Dean, the facilitator, sends it out to Samuels, 6 to shoot. Back into the post now. Muscling around is Maximus Edwards. His turnaround hook shot is good off the side of the rim and then in.
Tough matchup there for Rasul Diggins, giving up several inches against Edwards, and Edwards able to get it to drop.
17-14, George Washington in the lead. UMass with the basketball, 11 to go in this first half. Dominguez holding the basketball, shovels it out to Diggins. Diggins along the left side of the arc, has his pass deflected, but it goes to Dominguez. Out to Martin now right side, kicks it out to Thompson. Thompson, pull-up jumper from 18 feet away, off the back of the rim, no good, and Dean there for the rebound for GW.
Interesting, Frank Martin going at 2 point guards in this lineup with Thompson and Diggins.
Without Fernandez on the court, that's been the question for UMass. How can they get the offense moving smoothly when your best player isn't out there? 10:30 to go in this first half. UMass down by 3. George Washington with the basketball. Adams over to the near side. Harris guarded by Luis. Jab step. Now tries to drive right. Crosses over left. Lost the ball. Picked up off the deck by Thompson. He leads Luis down the court. Luis off the left side of the lane. Has it poked out from behind. And we're going back the other way. Breakaway opportunity for Edwards. He leaves it for Samuels, who lays it in.
5 turnovers already for the Minutemen here in the first 10 minutes of this game, and that one was costly.
That grows the lead to 5, the largest of the day for George Washington. UMass trailing in this one with the basketball. Over to the left side, Luis. He'll hoist a 3. It's good. R.J. Luis with his second triple tonight.
That one was a thing of beauty compared to the first one he banked in. High arcing shot. It was nothing but net. Wide open on the left side.
Luis at 38% on the three-point shots this year. Minutemen trailing 19-17. George Washington with the basketball. Edwards drives, kicks it out left side. Rising for 3 is Bishop. That's no good. Ball tapped around, and it's going to be Luis first to get there, and he knocks it off the body of the GW player, Kwanzi Samuels. And I think it will be UMass basketball on an inbound right in front of our booth.
Good scramble for the basketball that time. The Minutemen able to win that battle with Dominguez crashing right at us.
Hard hustle play on a 50-50 ball will go in favor of the Minutemen, down by 2 with the possession. Here we go. Thompson across half court. Keon Thompson, the freshman, navigating over to Diggins. Diggins goes right by his man on a head fake, tries to kick it out after he penetrated, and it's stolen.
Should have taken the shot at that point.
Intercepted. Here comes Bishop into the front court. Sends it out to the left side. And stepping through the lane, I think a travel's called on Maximus Edwards. They probably could have hit him for 2 travels there off the first move that he made.
Yeah, he took about 5 steps, so you're right. Tried to do an up and under move to start, moved his feet there, and then kept moving them as he headed to the basket.
So that benefits UMass after the turnover on the other end for the Minutemen. UMass with the basketball down by 2. Thompson will hoist up a 3, and it's way off the mark. Hit his first 3 of his career on Wednesday, but that has not been his strength this season. Bishop
1 of
into
11.
the front court. Yep, not great. Over to the far side now for Edwards. Edwards up to Ricky Lindo Jr. He gets into the paint, but nothing there. Sends it out to Bishop, who tries a 3. He's fouled as he missed it. TJ Weeks was right in front of him, and Weeks called for the foul. That'll send Bishop to the free throw line for 3.
Them in a tough spot here. They want to get this thing to overtime. They're going to have to kill this penalty. The Flames send out their man advantage unit at a most critical time of the game. New York won the draw. Retrieves the puck, trying to kickstart this power play. Calgary's got it in their own zone. From the left side, he moves it up ahead. Chance to work the transition game now, shorthanded. He's got a stick. I can tell you, whatever he thought was going to happen, it wasn't that. They don't even get a shot. Here inside the defensive zone, they get the puck. Gets it out of his own end. From the defensive zone, they move the puck around. The Rangers have it now. There's the horn bringing regulation time to an end. We got overtime coming up next. find it. The Rangers penalty killers start this period out on the ice and are off to a good start with possession. Calgary's got the puck along the boards. Lost it on the play. And now it's over to Huberdeau. Oh, he tries it. Currently the offensive end. Gossage Bears swinging the puck through center ice. The Rangers scoop it up along the boards. Orlov's got the puck through the neutral zone. And that slides right out to center ice. Grabs the puck here in their own end. And he connects with the long bomb. Looks to end it! Skate scores! You can have a 5-box skate, James, but look at how Dave Wade gets off. This looks like a kicking move. Having a goal called back, but they'll just have to play on as the puck's about to drop. New York's won the draw. Nice play shorthanded as they get control of the puck. From the left side, they enter the offensive zone. And he regains control of the puck. Oh, and a misfire as that goes right out of the zone. Fox is ready to join the play. They get it out of the defensive end. Power play expires and